I started playing the piano at the tender age of 5, and I loved it. But little did I have any idea that my time at the keyboard had any way of making me any smarter. But these days, as Michelle Miller is about to show us, thousands of elementary school students are hitting all the right notes.
The Mary McLeod Bethune Elementary School sits in a New Orleans neighborhood stressed by violence, poverty, and the after effects of Hurricane Katrina. But don't tell that to the music teacher.
Oh, everybody has such a beautiful smile this morning. Good morning.
Pat Sylvain Little's music class is a world apart.
Who composed the Four Seasons? Yes.
Vivaldi.
Vivaldi.
And Sylvain Little says there's a lot more going on here than just a piano lesson.
It's something about the keyboard. You have so many things you have to do at once. You know, you're playing with 2 hands, you're trying to read the music, you're trying to count the rhythms, all at the same time. And what the researchers have found is that it sparks the brain.
Sparking the brain of a child is what motivated Lisha Lercari to create this course.
So that it's all played with the right hand.
That's now being taught in 14 schools in New Orleans and 130 in New York City. Lercari is a music teacher on a mission.
I think children need to read music. I want to raise the bar high for them. I want them to be thinking beings while they're playing and not just play it. It's making it a process of thinking about it. It's a process of using their brains.
In 1996, Lercari read a Newsweek cover story about children's brains and how they develop, how exposure to music rewires neural circuits, how in one experiment, music lessons improved the abstract reasoning of preschoolers. She then spoke to scientists and researchers and asked herself, how could she translate what was happening in laboratories back into the real world? Why is this necessary?
It's necessary because children don't have music in their lives. But it's also necessary because of what it does in other areas of education. We have seen their literacy improve. We've seen their language skills in other ways improve. Music sticks. It enhances memory skills. It helps with attention. It helps them focus.
Decades of budget cuts had led to the gutting of art and music classes. So Lercari got funding from various foundations, devised her own program, and called it Music and the Brain.
You're doing it. Very good job. I love it. You're doing a great job. Keep up that singing.
At PS 71 in Queens, New York, Claire McIntyre has been teaching the course for 12 years, mostly to kindergarten, first, and second graders.
I don't want to be a music teacher where it's taught like drill and skill, like let's go, you got to do it again, and make it boring. Ti-ti-ta. Ti-ti-ta. When the kids come into the room, I want them to walk in with a smile. I want them to leave with a smile. I want them to feel good about it. Mistakes happen every day, and I want them to know that's okay. CG.
Most schools discover the program through word of mouth, and when they do, Lercari arrives bearing gifts.
Keyboard lab with piano, music stands, and keyboard stands and headphones. Piano books, teacher's manuals, theory papers, posters that go along with every page of every book, CDs that are instructional and CDs that are for fun listening, and rhythm CDs as well.
Here's how it works. Students first sing the melodies, classical, world, folk, and children's songs.
Awesome.
Next, they learn the rhythms.
Give a dog a bone.
Then the notes.
C.
Along the way, teachers add the history, geography, and languages associated with the music.
And this large area right here is Europe. We learned Farajaka from France.
And finally, practice at the keyboard, 1 or 2 times a week, 30 to 45 minutes at a time. Can anybody teach this?
Yeah, if they're willing to work at it. I would say the only people who can't teach this are people who probably shouldn't be teaching at all.
Lercari is in constant contact with her music teachers. If a technique works in one classroom, she believes it will work in another. But in all the schools, the key is finding teachers who care as deeply as she does. teachers like Pat Sylvain Little.
Pat is one of the most beautiful teachers I've ever worked with. So many kids in New Orleans need a way out of no way. And she makes sure they find it. Nobody fails in her hands.
Thank you. It's an A. So we have C to A, F to A.
I can tell you she saw every child every day. And we watched the ranking of this school go straight up. Her kids can do anything.
Sylvain Little says if it weren't for these classes, most of her students would never play the piano,
Parents will say, I didn't even know my child was studying the piano.
let alone have one at home.
I have some children that have told me, I practice on the kitchen table. You know, they sing the letters and go through the music. And so a keyboard is wonderful, but if you don't have it, it doesn't stop you.
A lot of the parents will come to me and they'll say, you know, during parent-teacher conferences, they'll ask me, Ms. McIntyre, should we buy a keyboard? And I always tell them, listen, it's better than video games, it's better than watching TV, and your child really loves it, so why not?
Lercari plans to expand Music in the Brain into many more schools. She's ready for battle.
There are some principals who don't believe that music is an important part of education. And I wish I could convince them. I always hope that those principals will find other things to do in life.
Who are your favorite composers?
Vivaldi and Beethoven,
Why do you like them?
because Vivaldi has nice songs.
He does?
Yes.
I want to see children do better in school. I want to see children have better lives. But I don't want to belittle that I'm also seeking the joy of music for everybody. I think it's a right. I think it's as important as anything else that they could ever have in their lives. So I want all children to have this.